That sounds awesome. Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello. We have a dodgy volume pot, Daniel. Once again.
So I've heard.
I don't know where the rock came from today, but it came.
Very much so.
Yeah, welcome. Please subscribe to the show and visit That Pedal Show store. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just not doing it anymore. I'm just not doing it.
You need to put walk like an Egyptian up behind me.
Jink.
Yes.
Yes. We're in the room.
We're in the room.
Just about, after a bit of a summer break. And Dan came up with this idea. It's called...
So we're calling it Underappreciated Overdrives.
Yeah, there we are, you see. It's like an under and over deal. Now, we should say right from the top, you might not underappreciate some of these. They might be your favourite overdrive pedals of all time. But they're things we don't use that much, which we have loved, and which we think are worth checking out, right?
Definitely.
Dan's chosen 3, I've chosen 2. And yeah, just to sort of spark a bit of ideas, really, maybe get you to check out something that you mightn't have done before, or just introduce a sound or two that might get your creative juices flowing.
Indeed.
What are you going to start with then, Dan?
Well, I'll start with the Catalinbread DLS Dirty Little Secret. We've had this pedal for a long time, and I remember liking it when I first plugged it in. But I took it home with me over the summer and plugged it into a couple of very clean amplifiers, and I just thought it sounded fantastic. So it's basically a Marshall-esque type thing.
They called it their Foundation series, didn't they?
Yeah,
Foundation
that's right.
series overdrives, and you could get ones that sort of had the character of different types of amps.
Yeah. And I think the idea with the DLS is an always-on thing.
Yeah, that's right. I remember.
Yeah.
I'll get some humbuck as soon as you've got the old single coilages.
Yeah, but I just messing around with it over the summer. It's like, it rocks.
Come on,
it really brings the rock.
Come on, then.
2 amplifiers today.
I wonder what the settings are.
We've got the Laney Fletner, and a Marshall. Fletner.
I'll just put the names on the screen. That'll be easier. The Lenny belongs to Paul Stacey. Thanks, Paul.
Yes, mate. Thank you.
All my strings are pretty rubber bandy, but there we are.
We're bringing the rock.
We're bringing the rock.
That's right.
Come on, then, let's hear it.
Okay, so the amplifier. Very lovely.
We do have the Space Echo RE202 just for a bit of ambience, bit of reverb and delay.
Yeah.
Because it's neither of these amps have either of those things.
That's a very good point. So yeah, a little bit of reverb, just a little bit of loveliness. It's glorious.
It's got some nice rock to it.
It really does.
I can remember being a bit down in the mouth about it when we listened to it years ago, but maybe we've grown up a bit since then. So the preamp's pretty low. It's obviously got quite a lot of gain
There's
on.
Tons of gain into
I'll
it.
turn the gain up.
All right.
Amazing.
Isn't that cool?
I tried to run through a lot of gain, less gain, turn the guitar down a bit. It doesn't clean up great.
No, but check this out though. One thing that I did that was really fun is just having all the EQ on. Have a play with this. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I really dig it. I found that if I start from there and I just turn things down a little bit, but what I discovered was it likes a really clean amp.
Yeah.
The way the amps are set, and because then you can hear all the edges of it. It doesn't work great into an amp that's sort of driving a bit.
Yeah.
And I think
they said that, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was part of the splurb for it. Because it wasn't the idea that it would sit somewhere towards the end of your chain.
Yes.
And act almost as a final shape of preamp type thing.
Yeah.
That's killer, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was lovely to rediscover that.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it. Okay. My underappreciated overdrive number 1 is the Multidrive by Empress. Now, if you've got one, you know, and you will appreciate, and lots of people do. It's super, super interesting because it's got 3 stages of gain, basically a fuzz, an overdrive, and a distortion, which have changeable factors between them. So like you can have a very mild distortion or you can have a really searing distortion. Anyway, in this state, nothing is on. In this state, it's just the overdrive, right? So that's kind of your core foundation tone. And then by activating the fuzz and the distortion, you activate both of those circuits in parallel.
That's right.
And that's the really killer thing about it. So when you stack, if you had a fuzz and overdrive and a distortion pedal and you just put them in line with one another, they would be in series. So the next pedal would have an absolutely massive effect on the one before and indeed the one after. So parallel, really, really important. Secondly, it's slightly confusing. If you don't want the distortion and the fuzz, or you don't want fuzz, for example, you just turn the volume down to 0.
That's right. Yeah.
So let's start with just the overdrive then. Each has a filter, each section, so you can high pass, low pass, or have no filter, and that's quite interesting. If, for example, we'll demonstrate. So on the end here, you've got master, 3-band EQ, and an output. And the really cool thing about the 3-band EQ is the mid frequency can be centered at 2K, 250 or 500. 500 is where we start getting towards tube screamer territory. 2K is a bit more bitey. I guess the 250's there so you can scoop it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because 250, there's not much use in boosting 250.
No. So yeah, to tighten things up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's have a listen then. More G chords. Man. Let's try 8. Just a great boosty, fairly transparent,
Quick.
lovely. Yeah, well, these amps are pretty quick. Both of them. And from there, obviously, we could go with lots more gain and lots less output. So on their own, that low pass and high pass can sound really aggressive and too much, but it's when you get into the parallel settings that they really start to make the difference.
Right.
Because you could, for example, have loads of high coming through in the overdrive and loads of low coming through in the distortion. But
Yes. That sounds just like that. It's incredible.
We got all kinds of problems. So by having the master volume right on the right hand side of the pedal there, and the channel volume as it were, you can get the overdrive kind of fatter and all of that. So it really takes a lot of tweaking.
Yeah.
But the amount of texture in it is amazing, and we haven't even turned on the other two sides yet.
Okay.
So
That is outrageous.
it is mad.
That's outrageous.
It's mad. What I did there, scooped that 250 mid out, added in a load of bottom end to get a more scoopy rock kind of sound. Changed that mid center frequency back to 2K and boosted that for a bit more bite and a bit more sort of classic rock back in the sound. So without spending all day like demoing everything,
Yep.
it's a bit like, in some ways it reminds me a bit of the Cogmeister.
Yeah, okay.
By Coggins, by Dinosaural, where you've just got this enormous scope. What happens when, I'll just reiterate, what happens when you stack overdrives together is it can just become a stodgy mess. That thing, foundation sound,
Yep.
clarity, all the gain you want in all the places you want. Let me dial up a sound for you. What kind
Okay.
of sound would you like?
I want saturated
Yeah.
in the bottom end,
Wait.
pokey in the middle.
Yeah.
I want to feel a bit of compression, but
Okay.
I don't want the fuzz frequencies on the top end.
All right.
Right?
So you want to feel a bit of compression, right? So where I would start with this is by turning the master volume down.
Yep.
And throwing the channel volumes up a little
Yes.
higher.
Yes.
So let's start with the core overdrive sound just to get you going.
Okay. killer. Really killer. I love that you can with the fuzz, but just getting rid of the top frequencies.
Yeah, so we
and you
went
can
to
feel
the-
the sort of rumble, but you don't lose any clarity.
Yeah.
It's just mad.
Yeah. And then you can sort of, because it's parallel, which is exactly what Dan's saying, you can stick the bits where you like them.
Yeah.
So if you want the overdrive to be, we've gilded that lily enough. Great, isn't it?
Yeah, fabulous.
What we got
fabulous.
next then, Dan?
Okay, the next for me is the old BB Preamp. Now, there may be some conjecture about how unsung this one is, but it's something that it's been around for a long time. I just don't see it that much anymore. You know, there's the new batch of favourites that are out there.
That's it, isn't it? There are so many overdrive pedals available that
And
all of a sudden this is the flavour of the month. And
Exactly.
obviously we're massively guilty of that, right? Of being purveyors of that way of thinking. But yeah, a classic revisited.
completely. So I just wanted, a small reminder of how amazing this thing sound. So I'm going to start with a bit of a lower gain tone on this one. And then what I get you to do is just turn the gain up for us, please, sir. So clean.
Just trying to find the having said that the DLS maybe doesn't have fantastic cleanup.
Yeah.
didn't stay sparkly in any way at all, off this guitar anyway. That one did a much better job of that.
Yeah.
Even with the quite high gain. Doesn't drop a lot of gain off very quickly.
Right.
So, like, it stayed bright-ish.
Yes.
Oh, we got a big problem here. It stayed bright-ish, but stayed very gainy, which might be exactly what you want. I don't remember it being that rock.
No.
For some reason, I thought it was a clean boost.
So it's interesting because in the literature, they say 30 dB of clean boost. It's like, yeah, but actually the gain, the sound is where the magic is. And our dear friend Andy Timmons has a signature version of the BB.
Ah.
Now, from memory, he only uses it on one of the pickups, on either the neck pickup or the bridge pickup for a certain sound.
Was his not the RC?
No, BB.
See, this is where I get confused, because there's the RC booster as well.
Yes, yeah. And the AC booster as well.
Oh,
There's
God.
3 of them.
That's not confusing, is it? This was the Scott Henderson one.
The Scott Henderson one.
Yeah. 2 stages of gain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the humble old BB preamp, and
Really killer.
it's fabulous. And it's just being reminded how great it sounds for those solo tones, especially. It's just there's something about it that, you know, pick them up secondhand, $100.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because loads of them out there.
Loads of them out there.
Okay, moving on then. I put the Killer V on there from Crazy Tube Circuits.
This is awesome.
I remember plugging this in and just smiling, because it's got a little extra.
Yes.
A little extra. So I think it. Well, I don't think. I know it was modelled after the sound of a Magnatone amp.
Right.
Which I think it might have even been before Magnatone kind of came back, but they were everyone was fizzy about Magnatone amps for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of cool 50s version of the Magnatones. Anyway, let's what we got here. Oh, we'll just see. I think there's 3 levels of gain, and so that's as gainy as it gets.
Right.
Bearing in mind it's a 50s amp really pushed.
It sounds great.
Bright, normal and mellow.
Oh.
And inside there is an additional gain switch, so you can have high, more or less gain. I don't know
Okay.
where it's set currently. Anyway, so in terms of like less gain, in fact you play it. Oh.
So responsive off the pick.
And really nice range of gain, and so you can push the bass, get it really flabbing, so it gets that sort of 50s feel to it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. But then of course, Or,
That is fabulous.
or. It's kind of Blake Millsy.
It's unreal.
Kind of Blake Millsy.
Yeah.
So if you don't, you know, essence of vintage amp, especially when you let that bottom end go,
Yeah. Yeah.
and quite a sizzly nature of the overdrive. And then if you know, don't want to be carrying around a big pedal board, can't be arsed with modulation pedals, it's just great.
Yeah.
And it's unique.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of the Walrus 385
Yeah, in the overdrive character.
in the Overdrive character, but that's it. Just for that uniqueness, you know.
I think there's a bit of psychosomatic stuff going on there,
Maybe.
because with that little bit of vibrato on there, it does really put you in that Blake Millsy type territory.
Yeah, and that's what that is.
And that's that
Yeah,
sound,
okay.
right? And so the connection is there. It's cool though, isn't
It's
it?
fantastic.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not normally into things that are kind of multi things, well, multi-drive accepted, but you know, like a bit of overdrive,
Yeah,
a bit
yeah,
of delay, a bit of compression all in one thing. It usually ends up feeling compromised somewhere. But I really like that.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
beautiful.
Cool.
Okay, I've got one last one. Now I talk about this pedal all the time, but we hardly ever see it on the show. This is my old Hot Cake. Now this is, I think it's a V4 or V5 from the early 2000s. The Hot Cake is really interesting. What year did the first Boss compact pedal come out? Do you remember?
77? 78?
Yeah, about 78. Hot Cake came out in 76.
Did it?
76.
In a bigger box, I
The
presumably.
first one came out in 76. Then 77 was... There's loads of different versions.
Wow.
So Paul Crowther, he made it originally for the guitar player from Split Enz, Phil...
McAfee.
That's the one. And he said it sounded too professional for him. And but then later, Neil heard it and said, I love this, and still has on his board.
Neil Finn.
Neil Finn.
Neil Finn. of
Our mate Neil.
Split Ends and Crowded House and Neil Finn fame.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And Paul Crowther, wasn't he in the band as well?
He played
was
drums.
the drummer.
He was the drummer for Split Ends
there we
originally.
Are.
Yeah.
There we are.
And it's just a fabulous thing. Now, it can be a little bit amp specific. So, for me, Voxes and Marshalls, this thing is where I love it.
A bit like the BB Preamp as well. I've always had a vision. Sorry, not a vision. I've always had an idea of what it sounds like because of the way I used to run mine.
Okay.
Which is nothing how like you run yours.
Right. Okay.
And it'd be interesting to see if I'm remembering that correctly.
Sure.
So go on then. Where do you start with it?
Okay. I start. Okay, I'll take you through the gain range, but you've got drive and level. The presence is really a mid control. Not called mid. It should be called mid. It's called presence. Okay.
Yeah, I have a bit less of that. You know how I always talk about bite?
Yes,
That's what that is.
that's what that is.
So
exactly.
I'm going to say it's 3 to 4K, but
Yeah.
I don't know that it is. That's what I remember.
Right.
Like about there on the gain control, it goes nice, fat.
Yes. Yeah.
Is
yeah.
that right?
Completely.
Volume's creeping up.
Indeed. Now, the one thing I love doing with this, I'm going to turn the gain down just a little bit.
Yeah.
But one of my favourite things to do with a hot cake is kick a treble booster in front of it. Right, so check this out.
Is that where you'd normally have it set? Somewhere about there?
Yeah, probably down a little bit like this.
Yeah. Fingers ain't working. That is
Isn't that awesome?
that's rock.
Yeah.
That's just really serious rock.
Yeah.
I would say. That's killer.
Yeah, I was using that in Australia forever, and when I got to the UK, it was a mainstay on my board. That my Kitty modded blues driver, there's a handful, and then the King of Tone. But that just did something, especially using the AC30. That it integrated in such a beautiful way, and then putting the old treble booster in the front of it. Whew, awesome.
One one thing that strikes me about all of these pedals, and maybe this is something for you to try with your pedals. This isn't new information, but it's reminding me today.
Yep.
We can often make the assumption that, you know, you set your gain level to where you want it, and then you just set the output level accordingly. But actually, the volume controls on all of these pedals today have a significant effect on the tone.
Completely.
I mean, we know that they do, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's easy to forget that. You think, oh, I'll just turn it down a bit. And definitely all of them, to me, were sounding sort of more harmonically rich, more interesting to play, more kind of full with those volume controls up a bit. So it might mean that you need to lean on your amp, you know, turn your amp down a little bit and lean on the pedal a bit harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Wow. I mean, no kidding. I would have any one of those on my board.
They're amazing, right?
Without any question.
Yeah. And I think, and this is something that we're going to do from time to time, I think, that just to remind ourselves, because we are in a sea of gain, and it's a beautiful sea. You know, it's lovely. We're out there swimming, and it's fantastic. But I think it's every now and then it's worthwhile just going back, let's just check ourselves. You know, there are some really cool things we used to play, and you know, just revisiting the DLS and the Hot Cake recently. It's like, oh man, yeah, these things are fabulous. And because these have been out for so long and there's so many of them out there, you can pick up a bargain.
Yeah.
You really can. If you're happy to just bypass the pedal of the month thing and go and look for some of these things that aren't shiny at the moment.
And the great news about that is that if you don't like it, you can probably sell it for exactly what you bought it
for.
So you can have a smorgasbord of pedal enjoyment for... I saw a book the other day. It's called The Porsche 911, The Practically Free Supercar.
Fabulous.
So this is the pedal version of that, right?
Yeah.
One thing I didn't check on the which we can check as you play us out, Dan, is I don't know if the vibrato works without the overdrive.
Oh, okay.
V.
Okay.
It was important to check.
Very important.
Right, go on. I think what we'll do is we'll say thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Please go to That Pedal Show store. Thank you so much to our lovely patrons on Patreon.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you, of course. And click the description down. And anyway, you'll see there's information there. Some of it is interesting. We're just going to turn all the pedals on, and at some point where it all goes crazy, we'll fade out.
Indeed.
Yeah.